The Draven Expanse was a graveyard of forgotten technology. Ancient starships, derelict freighters, and shattered cruisers drifted like lost ghosts through the void. Most species avoided this area. Too many had vanished chasing rumors of treasures that never existed. Aboard the salvaging freighter Starlight Pioneer, Commander Lyra Kincaid scanned the expanse. Her crew had long ago scattered, lured by profit elsewhere. She worked alone now, her mind sharper without distractions, her instincts honed by months of survival in the void. Her sensors blinked urgently. Something enormous, something no one had dared touch for centuries, lay buried in the ruins. Its hull shimmered faintly with a metallic black hue, absorbing the faint starlight around it. Lyra's pulse quickened. "This isn't just space junk," she whispered to herself. Guiding the small salvage craft closer, she maneuvered through jagged debris, dodging torn sections of ships with caution. Her scanner confirmed it. The ship was alive in ways no one expected. She traced its outline. 12 kilometers long. A design unlike any modern vessel, a predator of the stars, elegant, deadly, abandoned for millennia. The Vanguard's Echo, a ship built by an extinct alien species known only in myths, hovered before her. Legends said the ship could think, adapt, even choose its crew. Many had tried to awaken it, all had failed. Lyra knew the danger, yet her curiosity outweighed caution. She connected her ship to the massive hull with magnetic clamps and activated her plasma cutters. Sparks flew as the metal resisted, groaning as if remembering the centuries of neglect. Finally, a breach opened, revealing a dark corridor stretching beyond sight. The interior was silent, yet something hummed faintly, like a heartbeat buried beneath layers of dust and time. Lyra floated cautiously inside, lights cutting through the darkness. The bridge was massive, clearly designed for beings much larger than humans, yet perfectly compatible. At the center, a throne-like command seat awaited its captain. Lyra approached an alien console. Its surface was smooth, unyielding. She pressed her palm. Nothing. She tried another. Again. Silence. And yet, she felt it, a subtle vibration running through the floor, faint, like the ship acknowledging her presence. Hours passed. She explored each corridor, each chamber, mapping the systems. Then she noticed a subtle pattern, triangular console arrangements, grooves almost invisible, forming a geometric sequence across the bridge. She followed instinct. Placing her hands on 3 consoles at once, a soft glow bloomed under her touch. Symbols danced across the screen in a language unfamiliar, yet mesmerizing. A single word flashed on her visor, "Worthy." Lyra's heart pounded. Every record said the ship was dead, abandoned, useless. Yet here it was, testing her, waiting for her to prove herself. She whispered, "I accept." Weeks passed as she began the impossible task of reviving the Vanguard's Echo. Not through brute force, but through respect. Every connection she repaired, every power relay she patched, she spoke to the ship. She explained each step, each modification. Slowly, the hum grew stronger. The vessel wasn't just responding. It was learning, recognizing, awakening. Finally, a breakthrough. The ship's central systems flickered to life, lights shimmering across consoles. A voice, clear and measured, spoke directly into her helmet. "Human. Lyra Kincaid." "Yes," she replied, her voice steady despite the excitement surging through her chest. "I'm here." "I am Veritas," the ship said. "Not an AI. A companion. Designed for a crew that never returned. You have awakened me." Lyra smiled, exhausted and exhilarated. "Then let's see what we can do together." The galaxy had discarded this marvel, labeling it impossible. Yet, here it was, alive again. And Lyra Kincaid, a lone human salvager, was the spark that brought it back. The Vanguard's Echo hummed softly, its enormous hull radiating a subtle blue glow into the graveyard. Lyra Kincaid floated across the bridge, still dizzy from the initial activation. The ship wasn't just alive, it was aware. Veritas's voice, calm but layered with centuries of memory, echoed in her mind. "You have learned patience, human. Few possess it," Veritas said. "Others forced their will upon me. You listened." Lyra smiled. I didn't want to break you. I wanted to understand. She ran her fingers along one of the consoles. The symbols that had danced yesterday now formed patterns she could trace. Somehow, she felt the logic behind them, not just commands, but purpose. Veritas's sensors swept the surrounding graveyard. External systems report approaching vessels. Salvagers. Lyra frowned. The last thing she needed now was interference from opportunistic scavengers. How many? She asked. Dozens. Coordinated. They know of my energy signature, Veritas replied. They seek profit. They do not understand what you are creating. Profit. The word felt trivial compared to the magnitude of what they had achieved. Lyra glanced at the bridge, her mind racing. The Vanguard's Echo wasn't designed for small-scale salvaging. It was a warship, a relic of a species that had dominated entire sectors. And now, in her hands, it could be repurposed. She made a decision. Then we show them human ingenuity. Over the next hours, Lyra and Veritas experimented. The ship's weapons were designed for teams of specialists, aliens who operated dozens of stations in perfect coordination. But she had no crew. Just her and the ship. She had to improvise. Lyra accessed the cargo bay systems. What about the tractor arrays? She asked. Veritas responded, designed for heavy cargo, but adaptable. She smiled. Humans had always found ways to turn tools into weapons. Or, better yet, defenses. Using the tractor beams, Lyra programmed a trap. Incoming boarding craft would be caught mid-flight, crushed against one another or flung into the void. Simple physics, but deadly. By mid-cycle, the salvager fleet had arrived, alerted by rumors and strange energy readings. Their ships formed a tight formation around the Vanguard's Echo, assuming they were about to claim a treasure for themselves. Lyra monitored them through Veritas's sensors. Each maneuver, each weapon charge, she noted and calculated. The first boarding craft launched. Lyra activated the tractor beams. Lines of invisible force shot outward, catching the small ships like a spider's web. Screams echoed faintly through communications channels before the ships were smashed together or flung helplessly into the distance. Impressive, Veritas commented, its tone almost amused. Your improvisation is effective. Improvisation is human nature, Lyra replied, her eyes scanning the next wave. She opened docking bay 3, creating an inviting entrance. A dozen boarding ships swerved toward it, eager for an easy grab. Then, gravity reversed. Crew members screamed as the floor became ceiling, crushing some, tossing others against walls. Atmospheric vents expelled air, creating blinding turbulence. The boarding parties were disoriented, scattered. The Vanguard's Echo seemed alive, reacting with a combination of alien instinct and human creativity. Lyra's mind raced. The salvagers were persistent. More ships were forming a perimeter, weapons primed. But she had noticed patterns in their movements, predictable, repetitive, designed for intimidation. Target the command vectors, Lyra said. Use them against themselves. Veritas executed the maneuver flawlessly. Tractor beams captured enemy ships mid-fire, swinging them into one another with precise timing. Lyra adapted the hybrid systems, turning the cargo manipulators into improvised barricades. She controlled the energy flow, rerouting power from the reactor to shields and movement thrusters. The ancient systems bent under her guidance, but they held. The salvagers were stunned. Their fleet, confident of victory, faltered under a single human and a ship considered dead for 50,000 years. Lyra's grin widened. Human creativity, unbound by protocol, had turned the tables. Hours later, as the last boarding craft drifted helplessly in the void, Lyra slumped into the command seat. Her suit was scorched in places, hands blackened with grease, but her eyes shone with exhilaration. We did it, Veritas, she said. Not we, human, the ship corrected softly. You. I merely followed your guidance. I remembered how to be alive because you taught me to be respected. You are remarkable. Lyra chuckled. Remarkable, huh? I'll take it. But the victory was bittersweet. Even as the salvagers fled, other eyes in the galaxy were surely watching. A ship with the power of the Vanguard's Echo, under human control, was unprecedented. Word would spread. Fear, curiosity, and envy would follow. Lyra knew one thing clearly: the universe had underestimated humans for millennia. Tools, machines, relics, they all had potential that only humans could unlock. And she, for all her flaws, was beginning to tap into that potential. The Vanguard's Echo pulsed around her, alive, learning, and ready. Lyra's mind raced with possibilities. Could she modify the ship further? Could she prepare for encounters not just with scavengers, but with actual hostile fleets? Veritas, she said, determination hardening in her voice. Let's see how far human ingenuity can take us. The ship hummed in agreement. It was more than an ally now. It was a testament to what humanity could achieve when curiosity met courage. And in the vast emptiness of the Draven Expanse, a single human and her awakened starship were about to change the rules of the galaxy forever. The Vanguard's Echo drifted silently through the debris of the Draven Expanse, her black hull blending with the void. Lyra Kincaid's pulse was steady now, but her mind raced. The salvagers had retreated for now, but she knew this was only the beginning. Whoever learned of her success would come, not for diplomacy, but for dominance. Veritas's sensors flickered. More activity. Human. Farther from here, unknown vessels approaching. Not scavengers this time. Lyra's eyes narrowed. Aliens. Yes. They are not here for profit. They are here to assess, or to eliminate. Her mind raced. She didn't have a fleet, didn't have reinforcements. What she had was her intellect, her courage, and a ship that could think and adapt with her. That combination had already saved her once. It would have to be enough again. She adjusted the ship's trajectory, weaving between massive hulls of long-forgotten ships, using the debris as natural cover. They won't see us coming, she said. Let's make them underestimate us. The approaching fleet was enormous, sleek ships unlike any modern designs, shimmering with unknown alloys. Each moved in perfect formation, as though they shared a single mind. Lyra studied them. Patterns emerged, the slightest hesitation between the lead ships and their escorts. A momentary gap in the shield alignment. Imperfections humans could exploit. We need to think differently, she said aloud. Veritas's sensors blinked as if reading her determination. Yes, human. Adaptation is possible. Suggestion. Lyra's grin widened. We use their coordination against them. Within minutes, she rewired the Vanguard's Echo sensor grid, creating a distorted energy signature. The fleet's long-range scanners perceived dozens of phantom ships scattered through the debris. Their formation wavered, their weapons locking onto illusions. Now for the next stage, Lyra whispered. Tractor beams, originally used for cargo, were now precision-guided snares. She programmed them to grab the lead ships mid-flight. As the first enemy vessels approached, invisible lines of force whipped through space, capturing hulls, twisting them into a collision course with their allies. Alarms blared from the alien fleet. Confusion erupted. Veritas's voice was calm, almost proud. Ingenious. Human improvisation exceeds expectations. But caution is advised. They will adapt quickly. Lyra nodded. Let them try. She manipulated the artificial gravity within the ship, converting the cargo bays into weaponized mazes. The alien vessels, lured by false openings, were pulled into traps, their gravitic systems thrown into chaos. Ships collided, engines overloaded, weapons misfired. Panic spread through the fleet, visible even through distant sensors. Yet Lyra knew this was temporary. The aliens were intelligent, disciplined. They would correct their errors. The Vanguard's Echo's power was vast, but not limitless. She needed more than improvisation. She needed strategy. Lyra paused, thinking. What makes humans strong? She muttered. Adaptability, creativity, collaboration. We can't fight like they do, but we fight smarter. Veritas hummed in acknowledgement. You speak with clarity, human. Shall we prepare a countermeasure? Yes. Prepare the core systems for hybrid operations. I'll need to integrate with your AI fully. We work as one. Over the next few hours, Lyra and Veritas synchronized. Every sensor, every weapon, every structural control merged with Lyra's own thought patterns. The ship no longer responded merely to commands. It anticipated, predicted, and adapted. A human mind intertwined with alien technology, creating a new entity altogether. The fleet approached again, more cautiously this time. Lyra waited. Let's test something new. She activated the ship's defensive modules in an unconventional way. Tractor beams captured the approaching lead ships but did not crush them. Instead, she rotated them slowly, exposing their weak points to the debris field, creating a gauntlet. Enemy ships were forced to navigate hazards or face destruction. Chaos reigned in the alien formation. Some pilots panicked, breaking formation, only to be trapped and neutralized. Others adapted too slowly, their precision weapons now useless. Lyra's human intuition combined with Veritas's predictive algorithms had turned a hopeless scenario into a controlled battlefield. Hours later, as silence returned to the Draven Expanse, Lyra floated on the bridge, exhausted but exhilarated. The alien fleet had withdrawn, leaving her alone with the awakened giant. She touched one of the consoles. You did well, Veritas. Not just surviving, thriving. You did not command me merely to follow, human, the ship responded. You taught, guided, improvised. This is true collaboration. I am yours to command, but we are equals. Lyra smiled. Humans had always believed in their own ingenuity, even when the odds were stacked impossibly high. This moment proved it. Creativity, courage, and determination could outmatch sheer numbers and technological superiority. But even as she celebrated, she knew the galaxy had taken notice. Sensors far beyond the graveyard would pick up the energy signature, rumors would spread, and soon, others would come, curious, envious, or hostile. The Vanguard's echo was no longer a secret, and neither was Lyra Kincaid. The thought did not frighten her. It invigorated her. Every human challenge, every impossible obstacle in history, had been overcome not by brute force but by ingenuity. This was another test, another opportunity. And she was ready. Lyra gazed through the viewport at the silent void. Stars shimmered faintly over the drifting wreckage of forgotten civilizations. She whispered to Veritas, almost like a promise, whatever comes next, they'll see what humans are capable of. And we'll be ready. The ship's hum deepened, a heartbeat in the darkness, echoing through space as if affirming the truth of her words. Alone, human, and undaunted, Lyra and the Vanguard's echo were poised to rewrite the rules of the galaxy. The Draven Expanse lay quiet after the alien fleet's retreat, but Lyra Kincaid knew it was a fragile silence. Far beyond the scattered wreckage, transmissions hummed in alien frequencies, carrying warnings and rumors about the Vanguard's echo. Word would spread fast. A human had awakened a starship long believed extinct. Lyra floated in the bridge, studying the ship's systems. Veritas's lights pulsed softly in rhythm with the ship's hum. We cannot remain here indefinitely, Veritas said. They will return, and next time, they will bring fleets far larger. Lyra nodded, already considering options. We don't have fleets, but we have brains. That's enough. Over the following hours, she explored deeper layers of the ship. Hidden compartments, long forgotten, revealed tools and systems beyond current human understanding. Energy conduits that could redirect vast power flows, navigational algorithms that anticipated gravitational anomalies, and weapon systems designed for precision teamwork. Every discovery made Lyra's mind race. Humans thrived where others followed rules blindly. They innovated, improvised, and adapted. We can use this, she said aloud. Not to fight blindly, but to control the battlefield. Veritas hummed, almost contemplative. Your human methods are unorthodox, yet effective. We can enhance defensive patterns, simulate crew coordination, and optimize combat efficiency beyond design. Lyra smiled. Humans had always excelled where protocol failed. Let's start small. Prepare simulated scenarios. I'll test different strategies. She spent days running simulations with Veritas, learning how the ship responded to multiple attackers, environmental hazards, and unpredictable maneuvers. Tractor arrays, cargo manipulators, and artificial gravity systems were repurposed to confuse and control foes. Energy conduits could be rerouted to create temporary shield zones or misdirect targeting systems. By thinking differently, Lyra turned limitations into advantages. Then, new readings appeared on Veritas' sensors. A massive vessel, far larger than anything she had encountered, approached the Expanse. Its energy signature was unmistakable, a command ship, bristling with weapons, clearly sent to investigate the rumors about the Vanguard's echo. Lyra's heart quickened. "This is it," she muttered. "Time to see if human creativity can really outmatch raw power." Veritas prepared the ship for action. "They outgun us," it warned, "but your human unpredictability may give us the advantage. Suggest employing unconventional maneuvers." Lyra grinned. Humans had always turned desperation into innovation. She analyzed the alien ship's movements and noticed a pattern, a rhythm in their approach, subtle but consistent. She could anticipate their actions. Using the hybrid systems, she altered the Expanse's magnetic fields, creating an invisible lattice. Incoming energy beams were deflected, overshooting their targets, while tractor beams subtly nudged enemy ships into pre-calculated positions. Artificial gravity pulses destabilized their formation. Every move was precise yet creative, exploiting assumptions the aliens had never considered. As the alien command ship fired, Lyra initiated her countermeasures. Tractor beams intercepted the leading vessels, spinning them into each other. Gravity shifts forced them to misfire. The command ship sensors were overwhelmed by false signals created by Veritas' adaptive systems. The battle was not won by raw firepower, but by intellect and improvisation. Hours of strategic maneuvering followed, with Lyra adjusting in real time. Unlike the alien fleet, which relied on rigid coordination, humans could adapt mid-flight, anticipate change, and exploit weaknesses instinctively. Every decision Lyra made was amplified by Veritas' predictive algorithms. The duo became a singular force, human intuition and alien technology working in unison. Finally, the command ship faltered. Its formation broke, weapons misfiring, engines destabilized. Lyra activated the final sequence, a combination of tractor arrays and energy reroutes that immobilized the vessel without destruction. The alien crew, bewildered, had no choice but to surrender or retreat. Lyra exhaled. The vast command ship, designed to intimidate and dominate, had been neutralized by a single human and her awakened starship. Her mind raced with pride and exhaustion. Humanity, long underestimated, had proven its value not through brute force, but through creativity, resilience, and the willingness to adapt. Veritas' voice broke her thoughts. "Human, your ingenuity has exceeded expectations. The galaxy has underestimated you. We can do more." Lyra's smile widened. "Then we will. Let them come. We'll be ready. And we'll show them what humans can do when they refuse to follow the rules others impose." The Expanse lay silent once more, but this victory was only the beginning. Word of the human who awakened the Vanguard's echo would spread. Fear, curiosity, and challenge would follow. And for Lyra Kincaid, this was exactly the kind of challenge humans thrived on. She leaned back in the command chair, gazing at the stars beyond the viewport. "The galaxy thought humans were weak, predictable, and small," she whispered. "They were wrong. And we're just getting started." The ship pulsed in agreement. Together, human and starship, they were no longer just survivors, they were a force reshaping the balance of power. The stars of the Draven Expanse shimmered faintly, casting long shadows across drifting wreckage. Lyra Kincaid stood at the bridge of the Vanguard's echo, her hands hovering over the adaptive controls. Veritas hummed, its presence both comforting and formidable. The galaxy had taken notice, and word traveled fast. She knew the next encounter would not be with scavengers or a single fleet. It would be with those who sought to control, dominate, or destroy what humans had reclaimed. A massive signal pulsed across the ship's communications. Lyra activated the translation filters. The message was clear: an interstellar coalition of alien species, long dominant in multiple sectors, demanded her surrender. Resistance would trigger a full-scale assault. Lyra's jaw tightened. "They think we're small, weak, insignificant," she muttered. "Time to remind them what humans can do." Veritas' sensors flared, mapping dozens of approaching vessels, each bristling with weapons and reinforced shields. Direct confrontation is inadvisable. Their firepower exceeds our capacity. Lyra smiled. "Then we won't confront. We'll outthink." The Vanguard's Echo moved silently through the debris field, using centuries-old wrecks as cover. Lyra studied the Coalition fleet. Their formations were tight, predictable, relying on synchronization. But humans thrived on unpredictability. She rerouted energy from the reactor to the ship's adaptive shields and gravity systems. Artificial gravity fields could now manipulate incoming enemy ships as if they were marionettes. Tractor beams, once cargo tools, became instruments of controlled chaos. Lyra issued commands with confidence. "Lead ships, tractor arrays. Pull left, rotate, invert gravity on sectors 3 and 5. Veritas executed instantly. Ships were flung into one another, weapons misfired, engines overloaded. The Coalition's battle rhythm faltered. Hours passed in a delicate dance of anticipation and improvisation. Lyra observed every movement, exploiting patterns the aliens could not change quickly enough. Each maneuver amplified human ingenuity. Small adjustments created cascading failures in enemy formations. Then, the flagship approached, a massive vessel designed to overwhelm entire fleets. Its weapons were unmatched, its shields near impenetrable. Lyra's pulse quickened. This would be the true test. "Veritas," she said, voice steady, "we combine every system. This is our finale." The ship hummed, sensors glowing as Lyra integrated herself fully with Veritas. Every calculation, every prediction, every instinct flowed through her. The human mind and alien technology had become one. The flagship fired first. Beams of energy tore through space toward the Vanguard's Echo. Lyra tilted the ship, diverting power to the adaptive shields. The beams scattered, ricocheting off magnetic distortions she had created, hitting decoy energy signatures instead. She activated the final trap, the artificial gravity grid in the ship's cargo bays. Incoming enemy ships were drawn into invisible corridors, forced to collide, tumble, or misfire. Tractor beams ensnared others, spinning them helplessly into wreckage. Even the flagship struggled to maintain formation. Lyra laughed, adrenaline coursing through her veins. Human creativity, adaptability, and sheer courage were rewriting the rules of this battle. The alien coalition had expected strength. They encountered unpredictability. They expected obedience to protocols. They faced improvisation. Finally, she targeted the flagship's propulsion alignment. Using subtle gravitational nudges, she forced its engines to destabilize, spinning it into the center of its own fleet. Energy beams collided, shields overloaded, and the mighty vessel was immobilized. Panic spread across the coalition formation. Orders went unheeded. The fleet broke apart in chaos. Hours later, as silence returned, Lyra floated on the bridge, exhausted but exhilarated. The Draven Expanse had witnessed a human-led victory impossible by conventional standards. Veritas hummed softly. "You have done more than survive, human," it said. "You have changed the balance. The galaxy underestimated humans, until now." Lyra's eyes shone. "Not underestimated anymore. Humans survive, adapt, and thrive. We don't just follow rules, we make them. And we don't just survive, we redefine what's possible." Veritas pulsed in acknowledgement. "Your ingenuity, your courage, your creativity, this is what made you victorious. Together, we have become more than a ship and a human. We are a force." Lyra gazed out at the stars, the wreckage, and the distant retreating ships. "This is only the beginning. Others will come, but they will learn quickly. Humans are never what they expect. And with you, Veritas, we can overcome anything." For the first time in centuries, the Vanguard's Echo glowed fully alive, a titan reborn from derelict steel and forgotten systems. Humanity, in Lyra Kincaid's hands, had transformed the impossible into reality. And somewhere in the depths of space, the galaxy began to take notice. Lyra smiled. The stars weren't just a frontier, they were a canvas. And humans, she realized, had just started painting. The Vanguard's echo pulsed with life, its hum echoing across empty space. Alone, but limitless, human ingenuity had conquered the impossible. The galaxy would never underestimate them again.